Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. I'm so glad you've decided to hang around here for just a minute at the Bible Bistro and check out some 5-minute Bible study. It's always fresh and delicious here. No MSG, no GMOs. We have it just straight 100% Bible just for you. So today we're looking at Psalm 47, verses 3 and 4. Now yesterday we set the psalm up in verses 1 and 2. We sort of laid out the themes, those threads that are going to follow throughout the psalm. And today we principally look at that third theme, or that second theme. God is most high. He's to be feared. Actually, and also that's the third theme as well, a great king over all the earth. So those two are going to play into what we read here in Psalm 47, verses 3 and 4. Let me go ahead and read those before I say anything else. He subdues the people under us, and peoples under our feet. He chose for us our inheritances, the majesty of Jacob, which he loved, Selah. Notice that this is the work of God. It's lovely to say that, isn't it? That this is the work of God. He does all of these things for his chosen folks. He subdues the people. He puts them under their feet. That is, they are over those that are their enemies. He chose the inheritances for the people. You remember when Joshua and the folks entered into the land, then the Lord gathered all the tribes together and they parceled out all of that land. And it wasn't that any one tribe chose over another. God directed their inheritances for them, and he did it. And how did he do it? And why did he do it? And what was the motivation for it? Look at the end of 4. The majesty of Jacob, which he loved. See, that's the motivation here, because God is in covenant with these people, and his love for them is being demonstrated in his care, his concern, his desire to give them a future and a hope. All of that is involved here. And as I said, we look at those two themes, God is most high and he's king over all the earth. Both of those play into this, because if he's king over all the earth, then he can do with the earth what he wants, right? I mean, he can direct who gets what in the earth. And because he's most high, he's able to subdue peoples under us, as he says here to Israel. So both of these themes show up here in a big way in verses 3 and 4 and really highlight what we just learned in verse 2, that the Lord is most high. The Lord most high is to be feared because he can do these things, and he is a great king over all the earth. That is, he is sovereign over the entire order of creation. Everything is under his control. All right, look at verse 3. He subdues the peoples under us. That phrase, you're probably thinking to yourself, I've heard that before. And yes, you have. We've had it in Psalm 18. Psalm 18:48. You can go back there and read that for yourself. You'll find that phrase there. Interesting, isn't it, that David's great confession, a little piece of it, comes out and is applied here to this idea of the sovereignty and the majesty of God. That God subdues the people under us. So David was saying that in 18, and as I've said before, Psalm 18 is his great confession of faith. It's wonderful. If you've not read Psalm 18, take a few minutes, because it's quite long, but it won't take you that long to go through it. And just meditate on the themes there and the things that David says. This is God's handiwork. He does this. He lifts some up and he subdues others. And then he lifts those up that he's subdued, and those that he's raised up, he puts down. So God is the one who is in control. He's sovereign over all of these issues. And so in David's confession, he says he's the one that does it. He's the one in control. He's the one in charge. We're not. And then we end, of course, this section of this psalm with a Selah. So let's pause now and consider the greatness of our God. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. We'll look at verses 5 and 6 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.